The Water for All Partnership is an EU-funded initiative for scientific research and innovation for the water sector. Its goal is to tackle water challenges to face climate change, help to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and boost Europe's competitiveness and growth to achieve a water-smart society. The Pillar D of Water for All, led by Water Europe, intends to demonstrate the efficiency of innovative solutions through the water-oriented living labs. This is a series of interviews to the frontrunners of water-oriented living labs that will join forces and collaborate in the next phases of the program. Enjoy the series.
So today we will be interviewing Catarina Freitas, who is the Municipal Directorate for Environment, Green Infrastructure, Climate and Energy of the Municipality of Lisbon in Portugal. Welcome, Catarina. I'm so happy to have you here with us for this interview regarding the Water-Oriented Living Lab of Lisbon. And if you agree, we would be starting, right? May I?
Hi, Maria João. Yes, please go ahead. It's also a pleasure to be here and share some of our views and outcomes of the Living Lab.
We are also very happy to have you here. So what are the innovative practices, technologies, and methodologies used in the Water-Oriented Living Lab of Lisbon?
Well, let me start by pointing out that Lisbon Climate Action Plan actually considers that the water and energy nexus as a key issue. So in that framework, we had to look at our water resources, their origins, availability, and quality to the final users. And we have realized that Lisbon imports its drinking water from a distance of more than 100 kilometers away from the city center with a high energy footprint. And a big part of this drinking water is used for non-potable purposes. And so really that's where the Water-Oriented Lisbon Living Lab comes as a strategy to test and implement innovative solutions, technologies, and procedures that can really promote water efficiency in our city and the use of reclaimed water for non-potable uses, namely irrigation of urban parks and gardens. So the Lisbon Living Lab was set up and is in operation in the framework of the Be Water Smart Horizon 2020 project. It includes several stakeholders and that are involved in the consortium as partners, namely, the Municipality of Lisbon, which is the owner of the Living Lab, LNEC, the National Civil Engineering Laboratory, which is a research institution and is the Living Lab mentor, Águas do Tejo Atlântico, who is they are the wastewater utility company, ADEN, the National Energy Agency, Lisboa Nova, which is the local environmental and energy agency, Baseform, which is a software house company, and also ICSUL, which is a research institution on social sciences. Well, we have many others that are actively involved and participate in the local COP, our community of practice. So, as I mentioned before, the key smart water challenge of Lisbon Living Lab results from our dependency on distant freshwater resources, which, under the existing climate change scenarios, represent a risk for the growing population and economy of our city. Of course, that we've been using the green blue infrastructure as a solution to really tackle some of the climate change impacts, namely droughts, floods, and heat waves. And reclaimed water in particular is really a sustainable source. It's abundant and it's largely independent of climate uncertainty. So we consider that it can really contribute to reduce the pressure on strategic freshwater resources and allow resources recovery such as phosphorus. So very briefly, we consider that our Living Lab addresses this challenge with a special focus on the development of tools and processes that facilitate safe water reuse, the improvement of water energy phosphorus efficiency in municipal non-potable water uses, and on contributing to improve households and buildings' climate readiness regarding water and energy. And this is really a key issue because there's a lot of experience in terms of energy certificates. So it's really important to add this water issue layer of information. And with these climate readiness certificates, we can really access and certificate a tool that is being developed locally, but we really an ambition to be scaled up for a national and European use. Of course, that's our Living Lab solutions. They were developed bearing in mind the alignment to the strategic objectives of the Be Water Smart assessment framework, because the main goal is really to effectively accelerate the transformation of Lisbon into a water smart city. Strategic planning mechanisms are also in place, namely the Lisbon Strategic Plan for Water Use, which is being developed within the community of practice and with the contribution of its stakeholders and the community. So that would be my first contribution.
Thank you, Catarina, for the very comprehensive answer. It's really Lisbon is really ambitious on ongoing towards water smart management, and we LNEC are also very happy to be able to contribute to it. So moving to the next question, can you summarize what are the social, economic, and environmental impacts and benefits on the local territory and community of the Water-Oriented Living Lab of Lisbon?
Well, briefly, the environmental impacts of the Living Lab, they are, the decrease on the use of fresh water, to improve water use efficiency. That's really important as well, and it's really a big, an important impact. To promote safe water reuse, to reduce the water-related energy use. As I mentioned, really this topic of the water energy nexus can really be placed in local policies and strategies. So this is really key. And also to recover critical nutrients such as phosphorus. In respect to the economic impacts, well, they include an acceleration of water-related investments, the mobilization of funds that can be applied to water efficiency, and also the creation of synergies between different funding instruments. Sometimes we can relate water efficiency with energy efficiency, with climate adaptation. So this Living Lab is really helping us to make these connections and this integration. Also, there's the possibility of the creation of new business opportunities and the increase of competitiveness of EU industries on this area. If we look at the societal impacts, well, we have already identified the following main impacts related to our Living Lab. First is really the transition to a more circular economy at different scales and in different social conditions. We are working on an European chain of capital importance for our city, which is the use of reclaimed water for non-potable municipal uses. We have also in a very, it's like a flagship on this, which is a beer that was launched and presented to the community an artisanal beer that is produced with reclaimed water. And this is a project that really contributes to the public awareness on water scarcity and the public engagement on the acceptance on water use. And I mean, people, actually the beer is very nice, very tasteful. Everybody should try it. And but you always have a perception on really one of the resources that is that is used to produce it. So it's really important to change to these mindsets on the possibility of using wastewater that is well treated and that is it has the quality that can be appropriate to the production of beer. We are also providing the community with very appellative information on water consumption, wastewater treatment, and fit for purpose water use. And we are doing that through Lisbon urban water observatories that are managed by one of the partners in Be Water Smart. So we think that this increases the public awareness on water scarcity, local context, and also the public engagement with smart water solutions, where other tools that we are developed facilitate the smart allocation of fit-for-purpose water and water reuse. Our Living Lab also considers of great importance stakeholders' activities and cities' engagement and participation. And I think real that this model of the community of practice meetings, where I mean the community is involved and is actively involved, I may say. And these COPs, they are organized regularly, and it's really an important, and it's really a model that we are using in other topics that are apart from water efficiency. So I think that COPs and also engagement actions in schools are also relevant examples.
So you have now a really, not a long way, but a very consistent pathway on this water smartness. And what lessons have been now learned, and what challenges have you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I think that our main challenges, they are related to governance. This is an innovative issue, and sometimes it's really difficult to find out the partners and also to mobilize the community to be part of this process. So governance, also the adequate business models, the financing and the funding. We are also facing some challenges concerning the engagement of public users, private, commercial, agriculture, some research institution. They are not still aligned with the objectives of our Living Lab, technology developers. And I mean, what we are trying to do to overcome this challenge are really trying to look at the problem and develop problem solving and data-based decision mechanisms. Of course, that digital tools are of great importance and they are very helpful. We have already putting in place strategic planning mechanisms. I think that the Lisbon strategic plan for water use by 2050 and also the strategic agenda that comes along it are really important. As I mentioned before, the community of practices, so engaging stakeholders through the local community of practices and really these focal groups that are created within these COPs can be very helpful. And I think that people at the beginning, they were suspicious, but now they are more open and more available to be part of the process. And also really developing a strong and long-lasting partnerships between different users, technology developers, and researchers. So we are really now in a consortium and a forum, as I say, that is very rich in respect of experiences, knowledges that can be integrated in the final solutions that we are developing. I think that I would add a final comment, which is the possibility of scaling up the project outcomes in all Lisbon metropolitan area, and with the creation of community of practices replicators groups, and also at an European level. And I think that our city climate contract that we have developed, because Lisbon was selected as one of the 100 climate neutral and smart cities by 2030. So it's one of the 100 mission cities. And we have really integrated part of the objectives of our Living Lab in our city climate contract. So it's one, I think that I have the opportunity of looking of other city climate contracts of other cities that are also mission cities. And I'm afraid that this water efficiency is an unlighted area. And so we are trying really to change something also at this city climate contract. And I think that this will be it's really an investment that can have very good results in the near future.
So now it's clear that you are grounding your Living Lab on your territory, and that you have plans to go beyond a project, in this case, Be Water Smart project. So to really to have a long-lasting environment for water-oriented testing of solutions. And so finally, just to end up this interview, what is the future vision now? Can you provide us some tips and tricks for other water-oriented living labs that are currently in the process of the establishment? So the newcomers, what can they do to be as successful as Lisbon?
Well, I think the key word is integration. I think there, technically, sometimes we live in silos, okay? And how can we do daily to consider water efficiency as a cross-cutting issue? And I think that this is really the base of our vision. So the aim of our Living Lab at the end of the day is really to tackle climate change vulnerabilities, challenges through the green and blue infrastructure. And for that, we developed actions and tools on water supply demand management, water reuse, and climate change adaptation in the residential sector. Not only we start to use tools developed on a regular basis, but we are also upscaling our water-oriented Living Lab in new research projects. And one of them is, for example, the UP 2030, which is an Horizon Europe project that was started this year, 2023. And also in new strategic plans. I mentioned before the city climate contract, but this is really an instrumental and a very important political and tool that where we have managed to bring water efficiency and also the results of our Living Lab. But we are also trying to enlarge the scopes of the Living Lab, attracting new partners, new users, and also to create some procedures that can be more successful on engaging more stakeholders, more third parties, namely financing third parties that can be really important for implementing the Living Lab.
Thank you so much, Catarina. It was really my pleasure to have all of these
from Lisbon side as well.
All of these good answers, and all the best, really, because the best for the Lisbon municipality will be the best for us also as Lisbon citizens, and ultimately for Europe. So we'll keep up the good work as the front runner in water smartness, and see you.
Yeah, maybe next COP. Thank you so much.
For sure.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.